Hi there, Sandra here from the Schwoven's Nest. Welcome to my Christmas series. DIY number one is taking a canister that has definitely seen better days. Look at that 70s kind of design, and I'm going to transform it into something beautiful for Christmas. The first thing I'm going to do to it, though, is just mask off the inside of the canister. I want somebody to be able to use this to put actual food in if they want, or it could just be used as decor. So I'm just going to tape off the top part of it, and then I'm going to stuff some newspaper inside. I'm going to give the whole thing one coat of matte clear Rust-Oleum spray paint, and this is to get some of the shine off of it. You can see how shiny it is here, but after I'm done spraying it, it's going to look really nice and matte. And that is also going to help the paint stick much better. Using my round Bennett chalk paintbrush, I'm adding some DIY chalk paint onto this, and I did have to give it 3 or 4 coats and then still do some touch-ups because that image was really hard to cover up. So here it is all painted, and I'm going to give just the section that I'm working on right now another quick coat of the spray clear sealer in the matte finish. And this is because it's chalk paint, and the next thing that I'm going to be doing with it is using a water slide decal. I need to put a little bit of water on top of my project, and with water you can distress chalk paint, so I definitely don't want to lose any of the paint. I love how this little water slide decal turned out, and of course it will be available on my website as a free printable. I'm just using these detail scissors to really get in as close as possible to the design. Now I'm going to take my water slide decal and I'm going to insert it into some warm water. I'm going to just hold it down until it lays flat, and then I'm going to leave it there for about 60 seconds. Before I put it in here, though, I did spray it 3 times with the matte clear finish just to seal in the colors on the decal itself. And I waited a good 10 minutes in between, and I also let it cure overnight. Now I'm prepping my object, my canister, to get it ready to accept the water slide decal. I just need to put a little bit of water on it so it makes it easier for the decal to stick and slide around until I get it in the right position. I'm going to take the water slide decal out and just let it drip for a second. And this is the important part. You want to make sure that that decal can slide really easily off the paper. You can see here that it's no problem. It's not wrinkling or anything. So it's going to make it really easy to place it down, put a little bit of the decal on your project, and then pull the paper out from underneath. You're going to work the wrinkles and bubbles out with your finger, making sure that your finger is always a little wet. You don't want to have anything dry on this because it will tear the decal, so you want to make sure that your finger is nicely moist. I dip mine in every once in a while, and I just keep working until it's nice and smooth and all the bubbles are out. Finally, I'm using a soft tissue just to work from the inside out and push out any water bubbles that might still be there. The tissue will then absorb that water as it comes out from the bottom of the decal. Since there was such a nice ridge on this canister kind of partway down, you can see it here, I decided to accent it with a little bit of the red paint. So I'm just using the narrow end of a makeup sponge. I've cut it a little bit wider so it's easier to work with, and I'm just going to sponge that on. I don't want it to look like enamel, which would be more of a thicker line. I want this to just be kind of fuzzy and look sort of worn, like it's been around for a really long time and some of the paint is starting to come off. I'll do this all the way around the top. Then I'm going to do some at the bottom of the canister, and I'm also going to do some on the lid. For the bottom portion of the canister, I'm just taking the makeup sponge and sort of just drawing myself a guideline all the way around. Then I'm going to take my little chip brush and just pounce some red paint all the way from this line to the bottom of the canister. That's just going to give it sort of a little red highlight or touch. You don't really see it too much when the canister is standing up, but I think it adds just a little extra detail. Today's video is a trash to treasure collaboration with my sweet friend Anna from DIYs and Crafts with Anna. If you have not seen Anna's channel, please go over and take a look. I will have her video and her channel link down in my description box. She does some amazing trash to treasure. She literally takes things out of dumpsters and creates beautiful home decor with it. She also donates all of her projects so those less fortunate don't have to spend an arm and a leg to get some beautiful home decor. Next month is also Anna's birthday, so let's wish her a very happy birthday by hitting the subscribe button and helping her grow her channel. This next project is just using a bunch of bits and pieces left over from different projects. I'm using my miter shears just to cut this little stand down a little bit shorter. Now I'm going to drill a hole down in the center of each of these 4 wooden discs. I'm doing 2 at a time. That just helps me to get them lined up really nicely. You've got to use a little bit of pressure, and of course with my hand not being that great, it does take me a little bit of force to get them drilled through. I'm doing the hole the size of the dowel that you see laying here. I also drilled a small hole into the top of the pedestal, and that's where I'm going to be inserting the little dowel with some hot glue, and I'm going to hold it till the hot glue dries just to keep everything nice and straight. Grabbing the largest wood slice first, I'm going to push it down until it hits the pedestal, adding some hot glue to keep it firmly in place. I'm going to continue this process with the rest of the discs, working my way from the largest to the smallest. I'm also going to leave a couple of inches in between, and I'm going to put a dab of hot glue on the dowel and hold it in place until the glue dries, and that will ensure that my wood slice doesn't fall down. If you're new to my channel, maybe coming over from Anna's channel, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'd love it if you could hit that subscribe button for me too. Now I'm using some of these pine picks that were left over from last year. I did purchase them on Amazon, and if they're still available, I'll put them down in my description box. I also have another type of pine pick that is still available in my description box as well. I'm just going to be adding some hot glue to the stem and gluing them laying flat down right on top of the wood slice. I'm going to do 4 on the bottom 2 wood slices and then 3 on the top 2 wood slices. Once I started getting closer to the top, I did have to trim off that wire pick stem just so it wouldn't stick out on the other side. From this top view, you can see how I was laying them out, and then I made a mistake. Don't cut the dowel too short. I thought I was going to be just putting a couple of branches on there, and I should have left the dowel because I'm going to be adding a little star at the end. So I ended up having to glue a piece of dowel back onto it. Anyway, I'm going to take 2 of these leftover stems. I think they're just the last 2 I have left, and I'm going to glue them standing straight up to form the top of the Christmas tree. The wood star that I added to the top of the tree is one of the cutouts that are available at the Dollar Tree. And I did have to glue the little dowel back into the center. You can see here what it looks like. I added some faux snow just using some white paint to the tips of the needles and a little bit on the wood slices that were peeking out. And I think this turned out absolutely gorgeous. This last project that I have for you today is making two of these little signs. These are some old tongue and groove boards that came off an old shed at our cottage that were painted this dark hunter green, and I thought these would be really cute little vintage signs. I'm just sanding off some of the loose paint, and then I'm going to just wipe it down with a rag. For the first sign, I'm going to use this little truck ornament cutout that also came from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to paint the base of the truck itself red. Of course, the tires will be black, and the little circle inside the tires will be white. You can see here that I painted the Christmas tree on the back of the truck green, but you can hardly see it. So I did end up just using my snips and I just cut that part off. I went to my Cricut and I just cut out Farm Fresh Christmas trees, and now I'm just going to apply those letters to the sign. So you can see here that on my truck, I've already taken off the Christmas tree. What I'm doing now is just using two little pieces of popsicle sticks to make little squares so I can raise up the truck when I glue it onto the sign. I just want it to be a little bit higher away from the flatness because I'm going to be adding some little mini bottle brush trees. I glued the little popsicle sticks to the back of the truck, and now I'm going to just hot glue the truck right onto the sign. These are the little mini trees that you can get from Crafter's Square at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take 3 of them, remove the little bases at the bottom, and then glue them to the back of my truck. With the second sign, I'm going to be using these Christmas tree ornaments from the Dollar Tree, also Crafter's Square, and I'm going to remove the stars from 2 of them and leave the third one intact. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so YouTube will let you know every time I upload a new video. For these trees, I decided just to give them a stain. I'm using burnt umber acrylic paint that's watered down a little bit, and I'm just going to go over the top side of them, just going in the direction of the wood grain so it looks like real wood stain on here. On the tree with the star, I'm going to paint the background of it white. I want it to look kind of like a snowy, glittery star. So once this paint is dry, I'll be adding some Mod Podge and some Epsom salts just to give it a little bit of sparkle. Before I put anything on the signs, I did go over them with my dry brushing, just with a little bit of the white paint, kind of just to give it more of a snowy look, but also to add to the distressing because adding the white to the green really brought out all of the cracks in the paint. Using hot glue, I'm going to glue on the 2 wood trees first that don't have stars, just one on either side of the sign with their bottom branches sticking out just a wee bit. I'm going to glue the tree with the star onto the other 2 wood trees, and I'm going to raise it up just a little bit more so it's a little taller than the other 2 trees. With my Cricut, I added the words pine, spruce, and fir to the top, and I think these both turned out really cute. I truly hope you enjoyed these Trash to Treasure Christmas DIYs and got some inspiration to look around the house to see what kind of scraps you can make into something beautiful. If you like what you saw, I would really love for you to hit that subscribe button, also the notification bell, and especially the like button. That tells YouTube that you like what you see and they promote me more, which helps my channel grow. Here's a couple other videos that you might want to take a look at. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next one.